Clip-on design open earbuds are gaining traction, and today I've got 4 different affordable options to show you, so let's get right into it. Hi everyone, my name is Andy and you're watching Andy's Tech Tone. Thanks for tuning in. Ever since the Bose Ultra Open earbuds were launched in February 2024, they have been considered to be the gold standard in the clip-on category. I also reviewed them favorably back then, but I found their hefty price tag hard to justify. Fast forward to today, I don't have the Bose Ultra Opens anymore as I returned them right after the review, but instead I've got 4 other earbuds, which even if I add all their prices together, do not cost nearly as much as the Bose, yet they can do the same thing. So if you don't have deep pockets, but you are on the market for clip-on buds, then I hope you will find this video useful. Now, without further ado, let's see the 4 buds. Strictly in alphabetical order, here is the QCY Crossky C30 first, which as of making this video costs about $37 or 35 euros. These buds weigh in at 5.2 grams each and come with an IPX4 splash resistant rating. Next up is the Soundcore C30i, which cost about 50 bucks or 70 euros officially, but I've seen them for as low as 40 euros on Amazon as well. The C30i weighs in at 5.8 grams each and have an IPX4 badge. The Soundpeats PearlClip Pro costs about $60 or 50 euros, they weigh in at exactly 6 grams each and we get an IPX5 rating. And last but not least, there is the Truefree C10 with its usual price tag of around $40 or 50 euros, but I've seen them on Amazon for about $30 as well. And for this insignificant amount of money, we get an IPX5 badge and a set of earbuds that weigh in at 5.1 grams each. And the reason I highlighted the price, the weight and the IP rating of each bud in this intro is to show you how well meshed the 4 buds are across the board. They are all lightweight, give you some protection against sweat, rain and splashes, and you can have any of them for about the same small chunk of money. Their general design is also very similar to one another as all of the buds can be clipped onto your ears. The speakers are in the unit at the front, projecting sound into your ear canals without blocking them, then there is the battery at the back and the bridge that connects the 2 main parts. And since the look and the styling of the buds is a matter of personal preference, I will leave it to you to decide whether you prefer the industrial looking Soundcore, the jewelry like QCY, the also fancy looking Soundpeats or the C10, which looks like a mini version of a vintage vibe lamp. From a practical standpoint, it's the design of the bridge or arch where the 4 buds show some major differences. The Soundpeats and the QCY use some flexible rubber material with a soft silicone coating, which makes putting on the earbuds a bit easier as you can open them up a little. The Truefree C10 has this hard-ish plastic arch which can bend to some degree to help you when putting them on, but it feels a bit too flimsy, so I can only hope that it won't break into 2 pieces after a while. And that's a concern I do not have about the Soundcore C30i, as its bridge is massive, it won't bend at all, making it a touch harder to put them on. That said, as soon as the earbuds are on, I can hardly tell them apart since all 4 sit securely and comfortably on my ears. I use them all for hours and hours at a time and I had not experienced any issues, hotspots or any sort of discomfort. It's not my usual comparison, so I'm not going to rank the earbuds in this video, but if I had to pick one as a favorite based on their fit and comfort, that would probably be the Soundpeats, thanks to that soft silicone coating all over on the inside. The QCY has the same soft coating on its arch, but the speakers are hard plastic, while both the Soundcore and the Truefree are hard plastic all around. And while the overall build quality is very similar and bang on for the money across the board, there are 2 things I have to mention. First, the Soundcore C30i comes with 2 sets of extra silicone ear grips, which can help you dialing in their fit, while none of the others will give you such an option. And second, the Truefree C10 earbuds are perfectly identical, which means that you can put them back inside their case either way, without having to think about which one is left and which one is right. But what's even more important is that when you take them out again, the left and right side of the audio will be automatically aligned with the side they were sitting on inside the case, so your stereo image will never get messed up. And that's not only a genius idea, but also a very helpful feature if you ask me. As for their battery cases, both the Soundcore and the Truefree buds have a thicker and more square-shaped case, while the other two come with a slimmer pebble-shaped case, both of which can slip into tight pockets more easily. And speaking of slipping, I got the best grip on the QCY case, thanks to its shape and the matte coating. The Soundpeats case has a more glossy finish, but it's a bit thinner and longer, so it might fit your palms or pockets better, while the other two blocky-looking cases are almost identical in terms of their size. What all four cases share in common is a springy hinge on their lid, which comes to a hard stop when fully open, giving you easy access to the earbuds. The Truefree lid might be a touch more loose than the other three, but not to the extent that it would impact day-to-day usability. Another common trait across the board is having a USB Type-C port at the back of the case, and also the lack of wireless charging. However, with the exception of the Crossky C30, the cases can fast charge the earbuds, giving you plenty of extra use time in just about 10 minutes. As for the single charge playtime, the C30i buds can last up to 10 hours, while the QCY buds can only do about 5.5 hours, with the other two sitting in between. In terms of total use time with the case, Soundcore kind of wins again with up to 30 hours, but even with the Soundpeats, which finishes last in this regard, you will get up to 24 hours of playtime overall. So if battery life is a key feature at the top of your list, your best bet is probably the Soundcore C30i. Onto the wireless features, all four buds support dual device connection and single bud mode, but there are no high-res codec options, only SBC and AAC. I had no connection or lip sync issues during my tests, so all the basic features work well on any of the buds, including the platform-agnostic dual-device connection. As far as extras, the Crossky C30, the Truefree C10 and the PearlClip Pro add the low-latency game mode, while the Soundcore C30i is the only one that offers you the option to switch between your previously connected source devices in its smartphone app. And staying on the topic of smartphone apps, let's see what options we get with each bud. Starting with the Beats Audio app, we can customize the touch controls or we can completely disable them, and there is a separate switch for enabling the game mode, the movie mode or a dynamic EQ setting, plus we get some audio profiles and an 8-band manual EQ. In the More Functions menu, there is Find the Earbuds and a slider for adjusting the volume of the audio prompts. The Truefree app offers almost the same set of features with a game mode switch, EQ presets, the 8-band manual option, movie mode, dynamic EQ mode, Find the Earbuds and the slider for the audio prompts. The only thing that's missing here is the option to remap the controls, but more about that in a second. The Soundcore app gives us the dual device connection menu, prompt tone settings, custom controls and sound effects with a few audio presets, an 8-band manual EQ and the 3D surround sound option. And that, if I'm honest, is a bit disappointing as Soundcore tend to deliver more features and more custom settings in their app. But in this case, it's QCY who give us the most comprehensive selection of settings in their own app. There are a bunch of presets along with a 10-band manual EQ and the left-right sound balance slider for fine-tuning the sound. We get custom touch controls with adjustable sensitivity. There are audio prompt settings, an auto power-off timer, a gaming mode, a spatial sound switch, find headset and the sleeping mode, which will disable the touch panels. And that takes us to the controls. My favorites here are the physical buttons on the Truefree C10. Between the single, double, triple and long press actions, we get to control everything, including volume, tracks, play, pause, phone calls or your voice assistant, and you can even activate the game mode from the buds. By default, the buds are located at the bottom of each speaker unit, but it will change in case you switch the sides up. But even when that happens, the functionality of the controls will remain the same, so let's say the long press on the right hand side will always be skipping to the next track, while on the left you will always skip a track back, regardless of which actual bud is on the right or on the left, if that makes sense. And probably that's why we don't get remapping options in the Truefree app, because that would just overcomplicate everything. And regardless of whether you have them at the bottom or at the top, the little plastic buttons will give you a tactile feedback with quick reaction times, and they also work reliably in all scenarios. Which is something I cannot really say about any of the other three, which use touch-sensitive panels. All of them offer full remapping in their respective app, with almost limitless variations as to how you want to set up their controls, so no complaints regarding their functionality. But I personally find it hard to use the touch panels on both the Soundcore and the QCY, as those are located behind my ears at the back of the battery units, which makes them hard to reach at times. Soundpeats made the right move in my opinion by placing the touch panels at the front of the speaker units, as reaching and operating those controls proved to be more intuitive during everyday use. Still, their accuracy leaves a lot to be desired, so that puts them in the same bucket with the Crossky C30 and the Soundcore C30i in that regard. I'm not saying that these touch panels are unusable, far from that, but if you want the best and most reliable controls, you might want to consider getting the Truefree C10 for its good old buttons.
Okay, now let me give you a few quick audio samples starting with the QCY Crossky C30. So this is the phone call quality you can get from the built-in mics from these earbuds. Next up is the Soundcore C30i. So this is the audio quality you can get from the built-in mics on these earbuds when you happen to make a phone call while you are out and about. Moving on to our next audio sample, this one is coming from the built-in mics on the Soundpeats PearlClip Pro. So this is the phone call quality you can expect from these earbuds on a nice day outside with only some traffic noise and a slight breeze thrown to the mix. And as for our last microphone test of the day, here's another audio sample coming from the Truefree C10. Conditions are the same as before, with very light traffic and a very gentle breeze.
And now let's see the sound quality of each of the buds. Starting with the QCY Crossky C30, these buds pack a relatively good punch. The bass is strong, especially considering the open-ear design. It's not the most powerful, but it's definitely there with a good kick. Across the mid-range we get great presence and lifelike tonality, vocals sound forward enough without being too much in your face. The treble is toned down a little, resulting in a smooth sonic character overall. The only downside of the C30's sound is that there is a noticeable distortion somewhere in the mid-bass region at higher volumes. And speaking of higher volumes, takes us to the Soundcore C30i, which can be cranked up to much higher output levels. Its tuning can help with that too, because the almost complete lack of bass allows us to pull up the volume without introducing any distortion to the sound. But the C30i's sound is a bit on the bright side overall, which can be fatiguing to listen to in the long run. What these earbuds excel at, thanks to the rolled off bass and the pulled up mids and highs, is speech intelligibility, which makes them perfect for podcasts and videos. As for the Soundpeats PearlClip Pro, it has a slightly more extended bass than the Soundcore and more sparkling highs than the QCY buds. Where it's a bit behind is mid-range presence, as it all sounds a bit thinner and more recessed than on either of the other two. Well, in fact, the other three, as the Truefree C10 also offers richer sounding and more detailed vocals and instruments than the Soundpeats. And in many ways, it's the C10 which has the most balanced sound across the frequency range, with a decent bass, sweet mids and extended enough highs. But the soundscape we get from these buds is quite narrow, in between your two ears with not much separation. All the other three can paint a wider and more airy soundstage, with probably the Soundcore and the Soundpeats leading the group in that regard. Of course, all four earbuds come with plenty of EQ settings, so you can play around with that a lot, and you also have to keep in mind that the perception of sound you get depends greatly on the positioning of the speakers relative to your ear canals, so your mileage with each of these buds can vary. And to sum it all up, at the end of the day, all four buds offer exceptional value for the money. Because depending on where and when you watch this video, you can have them for as little as 30 or 40 bucks, and by 2025 standards, it's not a lot of money at all. You can use them for running, take them with you on a hike, use them in an office without being isolated from your coworkers if that's what's required, or you can even fall asleep with them while listening to some podcasts or audiobooks if that's your thing. And since it's not really a best of type comparison, I'm not announcing a winner here either, unless I consider all of us to be winners, because again, each of these earbuds represent a great value. In case you were wondering, this review was not sponsored at all. I've got each product from their respective manufacturer for testing, but I'm not getting paid, nor did I give preview privileges to anyone. However, if you want to support the channel, then you can do that by using the affiliate links in the description below if you want to buy any of these 4 buds. Thank you very much. And that's it for today. If you like the video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to comment away should you have anything to ask or share. Thanks for watching everyone. Hope to see you all in the next one.